From Storm Tracker 6, this is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Satellite and radar still showing a blanket of cloud cover across mid-Michigan this afternoon. That cloud cover has really kept our temperatures on the cooler side of things. Most of our readings sitting in the mid to upper 60s. We're at 65 degrees in Lansing, 67 for our current temperature in St. John's, and 64 over in Charlotte and Hastings. The cloud cover that we currently have in place is expected to decrease as we go throughout the next few hours, and there is more sunshine and warm temperatures that we get to talk about as we finish off the work week. 6 News at Noon starts right now.
WMMS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News at Noon.
The White House continues to push for a summit that could end the war in Ukraine. It is our top story at noon. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Kirk Montgomery. The Russians have not publicly admitted to agreeing to a meeting. They're also pushing back on the security guarantees the Ukrainians are looking for, including possibly boots on the ground from European NATO members. Natalie Brand with the very latest on the negotiations.
Ukraine says a drone strike overnight injured 14 people, including young children. President Volodymyr Zelensky says a separate attack damaged 5 apartment buildings, and he called for strong security guarantees to ensure a truly reliable and lasting peace. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is discussing what form that could take with European allies. As NATO defense chiefs hold a virtual meeting today to continue working out details, Russia is sounding off against any NATO troops on the ground in Ukraine, with the foreign minister saying discussing security issues without Russia is a, quote, road to nowhere. The Kremlin is also not confirming that President Putin will participate in direct talks with Ukrainian President Zelensky, but the White House says Putin promised President Trump he would take part.
I can tell you there are many options that are being discussed by our national security team right now with both parties.
A source tells CBS News Budapest, Hungary is one city under consideration for the Putin-Zelensky talks. The White House hopes to have a date and location set by later this week. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
And on the local political front, Michigan Senate Democrats held a press conference to break down what they say is at stake if a deal on the state budget cannot be reached. They say state Republicans continue to stall on passing a budget and refuse to engage as a serious partner in delivering for the people of Michigan. Both sides continue to blame the other as the deadline to pass the budget draws near.
We're without a substantive state budget to work with, all thanks to the inaction and irresponsibility of House Republicans. Deliberation has its time and place, and when it comes to the budget, that time and place was 3, 4, 5 months ago, with department budget hearings and votes.
The final budget must be signed by the governor by October 1st. This marks the beginning of Michigan's fiscal year. Failure to meet this deadline could lead to a government shutdown. And State Attorney General Dana Nessel testified yesterday before the EPA in opposition to that agency's proposed rescission of its landmark 2009 endangerment finding that greenhouse gas emissions from motor vehicles contribute to air pollution that drives climate change and endangers public health and welfare.
No state is safe from the threats posed by climate change and the pollutants that are causing it, and Michigan is acutely feeling the growing and accelerating perils of a warming world. Like so many other states, we are experiencing hotter seasons, more rapidly changing temperatures, increasingly frequent and intense storms, flooding, droughts, and more, all of which put the physical safety and economic well-being of our communities and residents in very real jeopardy.
Attorney General Nessel is one of many attorneys general and public officials speaking out against the prepared to stop for buses and pedestrians. Michigan State Police say buses are the safest form of transportation for getting students to and from school. They say the majority of bus-related deaths and injuries happen when children exit the vehicle to cross traffic. So when you see a bus with a flashing yellow lights, make sure to slow down and prepare to stop. State law also requires drivers to stop at least 20 feet away from the front or rear of a school bus when the red lights are flashing. Those who pass stopped school buses could face civil infractions carrying a fine between $100 to $500. And we have an update this afternoon on Waverly Community Schools. The district now says it's making more schedule changes for the start of the school year. We told you yesterday the district pushed back its start date to Thursday as summer construction projects continue to wrap up. But today we've learned Winans Elementary as well as Waverly Middle and High Schools will now start this upcoming Monday, the 25th. However, students at Colt Early Childhood Education Center, Elmwood Elementary, and East Intermediate will still return to the classroom tomorrow. And as kids are going back to school, the CDC now says children 6 months and older with no underlying health conditions may receive COVID-19 vaccines in consultation with their doctor. The updated recommendation contradicts Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Last week, he said COVID-19 vaccines are no longer recommended for healthy children and pregnant women. It's the first time in decades the two organizations have offered conflicting vaccination guidance.
Children or infants really between the ages of 6 months and 2 years are those at highest risk for complications from COVID, whether that's hospitalization, ICU, because they have smaller airways, their immune systems are not fully developed. And by the way, under 2, we may not even know if they have immunocompromising or other underlying medical conditions that put them at risk.
The American Academy of Pediatrics also recommends a single dose of the COVID-19 vaccine for at-risk kids and teens between the ages of 2 through 19.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Temperatures across mid-Michigan for our Wednesday are going to be a little bit cooler compared to average for this time of year. We're only expected to make it up to a high of 76 degrees. And of course, you'll notice as you look outside, we still have all of this cloud cover that we have to deal with. That cloud cover will be decreasing as we go throughout our Wednesday afternoon and evening. There's a lot more sunshine and actually some warmer temperatures we get to look forward to for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We will be slightly above average, those highs in the low 80s. Enjoy it while you can, because notice by the time we get into Sunday and especially Monday, our temperatures will be falling well below average for this time of year, and it's going to stay that way as we move into the end of the month of August. The long-range temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center puts that bullseye of cooler temperatures right over the Midwest, including us here in mid-Michigan. Now, the good news is, even though we do have some cooler temperatures in sight, there's not a whole lot of active weather that we are going to have to deal with in the meantime. Notice satellite and radar shows this blanket of cloud cover across mid-Michigan. Some clearing conditions off to our north, however, and this area of high pressure to our west is also going to help to keep us dry and sunny as we go throughout the next few days. So we'll finish off our Wednesday with partly cloudy to mostly sunny conditions, staying dry overnight tonight. There's more dry weather and more sunshine that we get to look forward to just in time for our Thursday. And you guessed it, Friday, not much is going to change. Notice Precision Cast is still going to have us under mostly sunny conditions by then. In fact, our next chance for rain really won't start to increase until we move into the start of the weekend. By early Saturday morning, we'll have a system making its way through the region, giving us the chance for a couple of scattered showers, maybe an isolated rumble of thunder across the region as well. For Sunday and Monday, since we have that cooler air mass in place, we are going to have to start looking at the potential for some lake effect rain showers across the area. Outside right now, notice that blanket of cloud cover here in Lansing. Temperature is 65 degrees, so again, trending cooler because of the cloud cover that we currently have in place. Gloomy skies over in Grand Ledge, 65 degrees, dew points in the low 60s, so it still feels relatively humid outside because of all of the rain that we were able to pick up across the area yesterday. We're at 66 degrees over in Jackson, winds currently out of the north at 8 miles per hour. In our final stop in Hillsdale, also sitting in the upper 60s, winds gusting as high as 13 thus far. Again, we're making it up to a high of 76 degrees across the area today. We stay dry and mostly clear overnight tonight. Get to give your air conditioners another break. Overnight lows cooling down into the upper 50s. Again, the 6-day forecast shows that we will be trending warmer for at least the next few days. 80 for our high on Thursday, 83 degrees on Friday. Scattered showers will help to initially cool our temperatures down into the low 80s just in time for our Saturday. Notice Sunday, mid 70s. Monday, looks like we're going to struggle to even make it into the 70s. So that sweater weather that everyone is kind of hoping for, right around the corner.
It's